And we are live, and welcome to Usable Live.
Yeah.
My name is Ólavur.
I'm Julius.
And today, what are we going to talk about?
Well, we're going to try to make some documentations.
Yep. So we had a session yesterday with Johan, and he actually described all the basics of Usable. And after the session, we created a transcript from the session, so just what we said, and maybe we can share it here. So here is the fragment that was created, and you can see it's the YouTube transcript. It's 25 minutes and 59 seconds, and there's a summary and novel and contrarian insights, and you can see the full transcript here.
Yeah.
So if you go to yesterday's session, this should be it. It's probably not exactly the same as YouTube's transcript. We did this right away with Whisper and the Python script, but regardless,
Captures the essence.
Yep. And it was actually done right after the session, so it took only a couple of minutes to do. If you look into it, overall summary, there are a couple of concepts covered: the usable platform, workspaces, memory fragments, fragment types, and access methods and webhooks. Yeah. So the meta purpose of this was the session itself demonstrates the platform's documentation from conversation capability. And that's what we're trying to do today, to implement that. And there are a couple of novel and contrarian insights, and you can challenge us on that. I had a claim yesterday that we were first, really,
we were
before Cloud Skills and offering what is Cloud Skills, or what is almost the same as Cloud Skills. We call them instruction sets. Might want to rebrand it because everyone thinks it's skills today. Yeah. And there are a couple of other things here, like the death of traditional documentation. And this whole concept of documentation from conversation and as a live workflow.
Yeah, and then you get that a lot when it's like, well, do you actually have? You need a lot of documentation in order for this to work, right?
Yeah.
But we use the LLMs to do that.
Yep. So this is what we have. Again, it is just the transcript with O's and ums and everything. Mm-hmm. So if we go over to the usable my test account, or the one that we're using for the Clarity use case, I have subscribed to Usable Public here, and that is where actually the usable documentation lives.
Yeah.
But it's very what you call it? Sparse so far. And if you look here, you can see what is a fragment type and how to create a workspace. There are a couple of items here, but what we want to do today is to enrich it.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? Well, I go to the cursor chat here, and I have prepared one prompt here, which is just to make sure that can we find it. So the prompt is, can you find the Usable 101 transcript from the Usable Live workspace?
Yeah.
That was the one we were looking at before. And GPT-5 is working, and cursor. And
well, you could do this with this is just an example transcript, right? But you could also do this with a library or actual code and go in there and just open it up and then just say, describe this, or we have documentation there. Can you improve it?
Yes. So you can just search a current documentation and improve it, or just read this repo and document it, or whatever.
Yeah. And we got a comment here saying, is the occasional drilling because people are working hard on Usable?
Yeah, we wish. Yeah. So you can hear it. So there are people working on the house here.
it found the transcript, so it's opening it, right?
Yeah.
It got everything, and then it's going to give you a summary.
So we got it here. Author was me, created yesterday, and it was transcribed yesterday, and this is the YouTube link, and this is the fragment ID.
Yeah.
And the GPT-5 is asking, want me to paste the full transcript here or export it to a markdown file? Always helpful. Nah, we want you to use this, and this is the key prompt for today.
Yeah.
Can you do a deep review of the transcript and create missing documentation in the usable public workspace?
Yeah.
Using the usable public documentation template. Maybe we should, we can do that after I press enter.
Mm-hmm.
So let's check if we can, the usable public documentation template, what is that? If we go back to here, we have a template here. And this is a template for how we want documentation to be structured in usable public. So we want a title, category, subcategory, tags, difficulty, version, last updated, and author, like as the meta or header information.
Front matter is basically for things like Astro to get to know this.
And our preferred tool for documentation has been Astro, and our thinking is that we could use Astro also to generate Astro documentation from this.
Yeah.
So that's why we want this structure.
Yeah, using the webhook approach that you alluded to yesterday, right?
Yeah. So we have title and overview, concepts, tutorial, how to, an explanation, and so on. And related resources, and so on. And there are some definitions here. So what is, when we say category, what are the categories that we want, and so on.
Exactly.
So if we go back into Cursor and look at how is it going to with this deep review, okay, you can see that GPT-5 made a short task list. So extract documentation topics. The next item is locate usable public workspace, audit for existing docs, so that there's no need to make documentation for things that are already documented. Mm-hmm. Draft missing docs, create new fragments, and summarize created docs. So going through that. So
you're doing a lot of searches.
List workspaces, agentic search fragments, several times here. Mm-hmm. Let's check the first one here.
You can see the content and the search intent, right? It's trying to do a first, as a quick reference first.
Yeah.
Where it gets the templates.
So if we that was the first one, and the second one was
the search. The reason there for describing or the if you look at the intent itself, it's still a quick lookup.
Search intent, quick lookup still here on the second one, and on the third one the intent was quick scan.
Check if what already exists.
And the fourth one was also quick scan.
Yeah, so it does the quick check first, and then it tries to get more information, right? Scanning for overlap.
Yeah. So you can hear in the background that we're working hard. Or someone else is. So what else can we say about usable these days? Is there any exciting things coming online?
Well, we're definitely trying to improve the chat. We're trying to improve that so that because right now we always go to Cursor because it has a very good agentic loop, right? Yeah. So we're trying to give you a better chat experience that's similar to what Cursor does, without file editing and so on, but still usable. So that's in the works, and we are trying to do things with what if data evolves, or what if the concepts evolve, and so on, to have that. So that's been released, so you can say that, for example, if you're working on a project and then you're in the early stages, you have a code name, and then when you go to the production, maybe you're getting
So if I is that something I only see if I'm the owner, or
Yes. So
if you go to our CRM, for instance,
yes,
here
and
and
go to
settings,
scroll down, you can see that here is the bottom.
all the way.
Yes, there you have concept evolution, right? So you can
Concept evolution.
specify, for example, if you have a code name and then you release and you have a product name, right?
So this is our CRM.
Or in this case, it was Clarity was named something else before, right?
Yeah, understandable.
No, exactly. So the current concept is clarity, but it also means understandable, right? So if you
that's
have
a good example.
Yeah, so if you already created content in the knowledge base, this is information that the LLM gets.
Rebranding of the case study company.
Yeah.
And it's actually called Clarity Case Study.
Yeah.
Strange name for a company, but
yeah, and then you can specify types like, oh, this is the product name. It gives you just a bit more context.
Company name.
Yeah. And this is something that I think you need to specify. Yeah, you need to add it. Yes,
like this.
You can add multiple concepts. So if it's and then you can just add it. You can just add concept evolution. So now when you do agentic search.
So if I go to the chat.
And this is in general. It's behind the scenes basically. That when you do agentic search, it will. Because you mentioned the same things, they mean the same thing. The LLM can distinguish.
So could I demonstrate it in the search here, or
if you have a fragment there that's specifically for,
I will say
understandable, for example. So if you do a semantic search and that just do understandable, to see if it's anything is there. Like that one, for example.
Yeah.
Client proposal template.
Yes.
That one you could search for using agentic search, but using for clarity. But not in this, it's in the agentic search tool itself.
Yes.
So that gets the context of,
yeah.
This also means this and this. So it helps with the re-ranking and so on.
Okay, now we got some here. Propose docs to create using template tags, stage published. Yeah. Confirm where to publish. I would say usable
public.
And publish it in usable public.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah, and then if you go back to the feature list while it works, the concept evolution is also that in there. There's also at the bottom there's tag. Because that's also something that, for example, if you have a repo that's called one thing and then you rename a repo, right? You don't have to go back and change all the old fragments or anything.
Yeah.
This just tells the LLM to expand on the tags, for example. When you add repo A, it will automatically add B and C, for example. So you can expand on that. So that just helps the LLM to find things that have been changed, or if you update the same fragment, it's not an issue. But if you create new ones, it will find them there.
So if we go back to workspaces in the usable public workspace and see if there's anything been created, no, nothing yet. So
it's still cooking.
So it's running agentic search fragments here. I was looking for here. Discord bot demo.
I think it's trying to find more information about the usable public workspace itself.
Yeah, maybe because it wants to make sure that it doesn't duplicate the fragments.
And then again, you're using ChatGPT 5, right? You can use the if you want to do deep research, you use a large model. But if you just want to search quick and so on, you can use like Haiku or something, the newest one. You can just ask it to list workspace. I think it's because you've had this configured to another workspace, right? So it needs to.
I have an even faster way, and that's just to, as a hack, just to give it the ID here.
Yeah.
The workspace ID is bank.
Yeah. And then we've also added, I'm not sure if you'd covered this, but bring your own key now works.
We mentioned it fleetingly, but if we go back into...
And that's of course, that's a pro feature there where you can, like, if you have a startup or if you have a lot of credits, then you can use that. It's in the workspace settings. That's tied.
Oh, so it's tied to the workspace.
Yeah, it's tied to the exact workspace, right? It's
so it's again one that I control.
Yeah, and then go to settings, and then you can see
and
you have bring your own key.
There it is.
Yeah.
So what's the use case here?
Yeah, so basically, if you have like a startup, you usually get like startup credits for AI usage and so on with many companies like Google or Amazon and Azure, etc. And you can use those credits. That will be cheaper at the start because maybe you don't have the cash flow to like support large usages. But this is mainly if you have a use case where you do a lot of agentic search. Maybe if you're connecting it to a tool that you create or something like that, right? So it's for normal day-to-day, you won't need that. But it's cheaper for you to do that rather than using like the subscription ones.
And what you do is that you need to upgrade to Pro to do it. But
and then you can select the main providers like Google and OpenAI and Anthropic.
Yeah.
It's done.
I tried creating the docs ready to publish.
Are you sure you did?
So it wants to.
Yeah, because you said that we are working with your specific.
So the question was, why didn't GPT-5 or Cursor just save it or create it? Normally it does.
I think it's the API key. You might need to give it access to it.
No, it looks like it's working now. Create memory fragment looks like it's working. Let's check if it has saved it.
Yeah.
So we have usable public here and view all.
No, it's trying in different ways to create the PEP, but it's gets a permission error because it's the key that requires to be able to do that. And if you've configured your
So let's see if I go to my settings here, my account, my API tokens, and it's at the permissions. Yeah, it's missing there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if that helps.
Yeah, you can just ask it to try again now.
So that's important.
Yeah, it's important if you create, especially when you're using the long-lived token, you have to be sure that you give it permissions.
But that shows also that you can change the permissions of a token.
Yeah. And
that is quite useful in cases like this, when you're using a multi-purpose token.
Yeah. So now you should be able to try it.
Let's check this one here and see. Refresh. Ta-da! Finally, creating your first workspace. Let's take that one here. You have the overview, you have the steps, you have the notes, you have the related. That one was not what I expected. Let's see if... So that isn't... It's not following the template.
No. I think if you look at the...
It's maybe because it's too long.
Yes. That's also one thing that's...
So let's say we just refer to the template again.
usually when you're trying to do this and then you ask it to retry and retry and retry, it will.
Yeah. Can you try again using the usable public documentation template? And just to make it a bit faster, just give it the fragment ID.
Yeah.
With ID, this number here.
Mm. That's the context engineering part of this.
Yes.
If you have a long-running conversation, especially with GPT-5, it tends to grab a lot of context at the beginning, and then as you move further along, it's not as precise.
So rookie mistake to use GPT-5 for this, and I think we've done this before with GPT-5, and also sitting waiting. To probably just something else.
Yeah.
And first, it's just getting memory fragment contents. And there's a risk that the model wants to update the fragments instead of just creating new ones.
Yeah. But then it should be, it's like, it's going to update it, but just replaces the content. So it's the same thing.
Yeah. Technically, that's better, but it might take longer time.
Not if it just does a complete update. Takes the same. It's just generating the tokens. That's the time difference.
Clarifying documentation requirements, it says now. Restructuring.
Yeah, ChatGPT 5 has a lot of internal thinking, basically.
Yeah. Well, the documentation that's referred to here, is that documentation in the same sense that we're thinking documentation, or is this?
It's looking at the template and comparing it to what it created, right?
Yeah.
So it should go through that and do that again.
Preparing for documentation updates.
Yeah.
I will update the 8 published docs to follow the usable public documentation template, webhook ready structure, add front matter, and restructure sections.
Yes.
Starting with the first 4, then the remaining 4. Cool.
Yeah, and then in this case, that particular thing might be better to use GPT-5 versus something like Claude, because Claude tends to say, well, I've updated 4. Do you want me to continue?
Yeah. Well, GPT-5 is more...
It'll do it.
It'll do it, all 8 right away.
Yeah, but it'll take a bit longer because it's a bit slower than Claude. So, but this is also something that's like when you work with AI, it will run. It's generating.
Ran update memory fragment. Let's check if there was an update here. Yeah, we don't know which one it was. Was it this one here? Nope.
Yes, that one was changed. Yes, creating your first workspace wasn't like that. So it did update it.
Yeah, it's still very simple to what I had expected from.
I think it lost the context while you were trying to, like when I tried to create the fragments itself.
This is.
Yeah.
So can we say it's ready now for publishing in Astro?
Basically, it's the structure is ready. So you can always, this is an iterative process, right? It's like when you work with LLMs, it's non-deterministic. So you're trying to ask it to do things. And like when you talk to a person, there's often a bit of back and forth.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
So the next step in some subsequent live session, we will get this out into Astro.
Yeah.
Anything to add?
No, it's just go out there and do something usable.
Fantastic.